Yeah, absolutely. I spoke when I came here about that. Everyone wants to play beautiful football, but you play the football that can win, and you're definitely right. You've got to do both boxes well, and I thought we did. And the bit in the middle I thought was very pleasing today. I like to play mixed football. I don't always play pure football. Everyone knows that. I don't mind people playing longer passes, and I thought we were effective with that. But then when we had windows to play, we did. And then the main thing for me was all the nuts and bolts, I call it, the performance, the distances, the pressing lines, the connection between the players off the ball was excellent, I thought, today. And left very little areas for them to work in. I was really, really pleased with that. Yeah, I think overall, because like I said, the balance of play, when we had to defend, we did. And then when we could play, we did. When we had to clear our lines and do the basics, we did. And, everyone's looking for the right decisions from players. And they've certainly made a lot of very good decisions today. The three things I work with the players on, there's only three things that can happen in football. You've got it, they've got it, and no one's got it. And we've got all of them right today, in my opinion. When they've got it, our shape was good, our willingness and desire to press and compete. When we had it, we found different ways of operating to go and open up them. And then the bit in between, when the ball's bouncing around, who's going to win it? Who's got the fight in them to go and win it? And I thought we did that fantastically well today.
I think it showed a side of the way of the game you could play, the really attacking football.
Well, we didn't come here to not attack, by the way. So, I'm not bothered about that. It doesn't matter to me. Yeah, it's just the way it goes. It's
the way you played today.
I've always wanted to play. You've got to work with the players you've got. And I think I've always tried to look at and give them a chance of being the best them. Not the best for me. It's not about me. I never tried to look at my brand. I just look at the players and go, right, what's the best way of you operating to be successful? This is a different group. I think there's a real talented group here, and I've said that all along. But you still got to do the basics, the hard yards, win your headers, win your tackles, win your races. I told them that at half time. Sort of stuff that, your Sunday league coach told you when you're a kid. I'm not worried about that because it's so important. And I thought we did all them three things and showed the quality of the players today as well.
There was a lot of individual performances. Obviously, we have to mention Sangare, who's brilliant. He's obviously going away.
Yeah.
Sonny specifically, really emerging as a good player.
Yeah, he's done well since he's been here. I thought Elliot today was me for outstanding because as a manager, we look at the game differently, and he did all the nuts and bolts I've been mentioning in the last few weeks. They're saying about his development, doing the hard yards, getting in the right positions, getting in the right pressing lanes, breaking the game up. We know he can play. I thought that was our thing. Igor's learning all the time. He played strong today. Callum's come back in, done well. Amari's doing well. There's so many. And the players on Thursday who played as well. So I knew when I come in here and I spoke to the players, it's got to be a squad mentality. It can't just be the team or the 11 that are playing. It's hard to pick 11 because you've got to let people down. But this is not so difficult in the sense they are playing football because of all the games. But equally, everyone's got to know their roles and responsibilities whenever they go in the team. And I was absolutely delighted with that over there. And then... the last game over at Utrecht and then today.
Sean, I take on board what you just said about it being a team thing, but when Sangare was signed, Forest really hoped he was going to be a key figure and an integral figure in this side. Are you seeing signs that he can be that kind of player?
Well, he's certainly put a shift in for us, and we know he can play. We know he understands the game, and I think previously he's had a few injuries as well, which has maybe cost him. I've enjoyed working with him. He works hard on the training pitch, comes in with a smile, and gets on with it. And he's one that's certainly shown what he can do, and he continues to do so with a great goal today. There's a lot of players over here. I mean, I could wax lyric about so many today on a day like today. I mean, I thought everyone was absolutely top draw. And then the players who played on Thursday as well. I thought that was a very strong performance. Another day, at half-time, you're 3-0 up and the game's over. It wasn't, but the mentality was absolutely clear to see. We were still going for the win, and we'd got the win on Thursday. And today, the mentality was clear to see, and I've been really, really pleased with the players, and they deserve a lot of credit for that. They've been through a lot of different changes. They've accepted this change with me and my staff, and they've accepted the work they've been doing.
Sangare's goal was finished, but it was also a great team goal as well. Did that kind of personify what you want to see?
Yeah, I prefer them boring 1-0s, you know that. God, far too exciting when they start passing it around and knocking the goals in like that. No, but it was a fantastic finish, and I said to him that our game plan today was actually a more generalised game plan, framework and freedom. Your framework's got to be right. The understanding of the framework, the tactics, and the delivery of tactics is so important. But then the freedom to go and play. And I was really pleased with that, the anticipation of each other in possession, the anticipation of working to get the ball back and then delivering that first pass. And if you get your first pass away, you're often in a position where you start connecting. And I was really pleased with that today.
Sure, how nice to have a clear week next week, because it's been full on since coming in midweek, weekend.
Yeah, I think it's important. We have got, and then we've got loads more games coming, which I reminded the players of. But they definitely need some downtime. It's finding the balance between the hard work that I think that was needed to get them to where I want them to be, but then the rest and recuperation to make sure they can deliver that hard work. So this week is a bit of a free week, couple of days off, and then we'll be working ready for the next game.
Do you want to say about the mentality? You touched on the mentality there, but after you lost to Bournemouth, you recovered. After you lost to Blackburn, after you lost to Everton, you recovered really well. But just sort of, the mental state of the players to be able to do that, you can recover so quickly.
I mean, look, you become resilient from what you do, and it's not a pure business professional football. There's going to be challenges for players, challenges for myself. But you have to see through them, make sense of them, move on again, and I think they've been really good with that. We've had two. Well, the first one against Bournemouth, we were just flat. We did, the levels I want them at weren't there, and they couldn't deliver. The one at Everton was a really poor performance. On the ball, off the ball, all the three things I said wasn't good enough. But they responded really well in the week, and then responded well again today. So the best thing as managers and coaches when you can clearly see they're listening and they're delivering. I mean, that's what we're all looking for as managers. Are they listening? Are they delivering? And today was a clear sign they are.
Sean, obviously you won't get carried away, but because of the situation in the table. But you must look at this squad and wonder to yourself how it was even in that situation in the first place. And I'm not.
No.
About what's gone before.
No, but the thing is, I've said to some of the players though, football now is, for me, is massively misinterpreted. With signings. Except because they bought this player for a lot of money, he must be brilliant. It doesn't matter anymore. It don't have to be brilliant anymore to cost a lot of money. You either pay it or you don't. And I think they've signed some good players, but they're equally players who are learning about the Premier League. Not many of them coming here with 50, 100 game Premier League experience. Premier League's a different league. And I've had to speak to some of the players individually. Say, look, don't over-question yourself. Amari was one. Dan Doyle, I think, is working terrifically hard. I said, it's not easy to come into the Premier League and just go, bang, that's it, I'm a Premier League player. So it does take a bit of time, and time's the hardest commodity as a manager. And for fans as well, because the expectation rises when they see a fee. That's it nowadays. So I don't see that. I just go, look, don't forget about the fee. We'll teach you, and hopefully you'll learn from us about what the Premier League requires. And I think there's signs that they are doing that.
I noticed on when the third goal went in, normally you're quite get back on it as quick as you can, but you turned around and said to Steve and Ian, what a goal, and you put your hand on your head. So that was the sign of...
I said, I'll have to look at that back. I'll have to get VAR to have a check on that. Not my style. I'm disappointed myself if I got involved in that nonsense. Trust me, but...
It was curious that you were enjoying yourself.
No, I'm enjoying it. I mean, it's a challenge. It's quite obvious the challenge, so many games and injuries and all that. But, still, you've got to find enjoyment from it. I think the collective mental sort of attitude here has been fantastic since we came in. The fans, and the fans, they play their part of the team. Everyone was responding to what we're trying to offer them. Because without that, you can't do it as a manager. You need the players to respond to what you're trying to guide them towards. And I've been really, really pleased with that.
Sure, you mentioned time as manager. Thomas spoke very well. He spoke very glowingly of your friendship before this game. It feels like he's struggling to get that consistency at the moment with his team. Does that surprise you at all?
But you bring new ways in. It's not you don't just click your fingers with a group of players. They sign players. You've got to re-educate in your way. That doesn't mean no disrespect to any other managers, in your way and your style. And it takes time. But there is no time now. Hero to zero every week now. And that's just the way, the nature of the world, not just football. So you just roll with the punches, and he's a very bright football man, I think, and he knows what he's doing without a doubt.
And just on the first goal that you scored, people look at Archie Gray and maybe Vicaria's mistake, but Tottenham at times have had issues with playing out from the back. Was that something that you were very aware of, the way Sangare is onto it?
No, I just think the modern game has changed. Well, actually, this year it's changing again because there's more long balls than there has been in years in the Premier League. At the end of the day, people have changed. People will see goals go in and they go, yeah, but that's part of their philosophy. I'm going, how about changing that and stopping the goal going? And personally, that'd be my belief. But that's up to them. It's up to other managers, up to fans, what they want to see, how they want it to go. I always like the bit when you win. That's my favourite bit. So that's all I try and do is create teams that can win.
Sean, last one. Tom's been saying before he wanted to score more goals. So was it pleasing to see him get two?
Yeah, really pleased. I mean, we know he can do that. I mean, the second one, cross shot, is irrelevant because it's still a great delivery either way. It goes in, so it's a shot. If it doesn't go in, it's still a fantastic ball in. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because I know he's scored them type of goals before. He's working hard. He's working very hard out of possession. I think that's a key thing for him to keep developing that side of his game and the tactical understanding. And he's doing very well with it. Yeah, unfortunately, he's got a knee. It's nothing serious. We had it scanned and everything, but his knee blew up with fluid in it. And I think it was a cyst behind his knee. And because we've got this 8 days, we can't, it's like with Mats, we're going, if he gets injured, if it goes worse, then that's a longer period. And Dom's the same. We looked at him and said, well, what do we gain against what do we lose, if it flares up again? So we just have to be cautious. That's been a really big challenge for me as a manager. Dougie's done great. Dougie really, I wouldn't have played him the other night generally, but I spoke to him about it. He was happy to. Because there's always a risk and reward, and you don't want to put players at risk. I would say fit for task, not using the task to get fit. So that's my way of working. With Dougie, he's been probably the hardest one when I've had to go, shall we or shan't we? But he was absolutely clear-minded, and pleased we got half a football for him the other day as well.
Yeah.
Who's that? We'll wait and see how it settles, but it's certainly a better chance than if he'd played today. John did brilliant, though. Fair play to him. Clean sheet, yeah, did fantastic, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.